You are listening to the Fairways and Fundraising podcast, powered by Golf Event Planning, discussing charity fundraising and successful golf outings, along with tips and tricks of the trade. Now here's your host, Larry Battaglia.
Hello, and welcome to Fairways and Fundraising, powered by Golf Event Planning. I'm your host, Larry Battaglia. This is episode number 34, and today we're talking with a gentleman from the Texas area, Dallas, Texas. The name of his company is Charity Golf International. Many of our listeners may not know what that is, but we're going to explain what that is. We've had a relationship now with Charity Golf International for the last 7 or 8 years or so. We've been working together on many different golf outings, raising big money for these great charities. So I'm just going to talk a little bit further about that with Chris, and he's going to explain all the charity components and all the great charities he works with and the amount of money that he's been raising over the last 11 years. Chris Carey from Charity Golf International. How you doing, Chris?
Good, Larry. Thank you for having me on today. It's a pleasure and looking forward to discussing all things charity golf with you.
Yeah, same here. And, on a normal year, Chris, when it's really busy, and now, of course, going through COVID now, but when it's really busy, you and I might not even have the time to sit and have a conversation, where now maybe we're able to catch up a little bit. I know you've had a busy fall coming out of COVID in a lot of states, but, typically you guys are doing outings every single week, multiple outings every week. It's just a crazy year for you usually, right?
It is. In the 10 years in this business, it's been the strangest of the strange years. Our season starts in March, and we got about 2 weeks of events in when this all hit, and we were shut down the better parts of April, May, June, and July, which is a big chunk of our season. And we really didn't get up and running until last month, September, October. We see a lot more charity events coming back. A lot of the spring and summer events have been pushed to the fall, and the charity golf season is compressed into about 3 months this year, but it's back and it's alive and well.
And talking about charity golf and your company, Charity Golf International, love the concept, raising big money, but I want you to explain what it is to have Charity Golf International and what it can do for these events.
Absolutely, yeah. So Charity Golf International was started in 2011 with Bobby Bradley, former Pittsburgh Pirate, and myself. And we would attend golf events in Florida and Texas, and we saw a need for entertainment. If anybody watches ESPN or the Golf Channel, they've seen the World Long Drive Tour. These guys do this all over the world and the United States. And when they're not on tour, they do corporate and charity golf outings for Charity Golf International. They come out, they do some entertainment, trick shots, they hit some 400-yard drives. We give away some really cool prizes. And the best part is, in 9 years of doing this, Larry, there's no risk or out-of-pocket cost to the charity. We simply come out, we entertain, and we work on a percentage basis with the charity for the day. So there's never an out-of-pocket cost to the charity. They never have to come out of pocket.
That's big. I work strictly with charities like you guys do, and that's all they really focus on, is that event day fundraiser, how we're going to raise money that day. And, sometimes these events, it's, let's sell something over here on this hole. Let's do something over on this hole. But to your point, to have maybe one hole that's an entertainment hole. And when you say entertainment, you're talking about long drives and watching these guys on TV, hitting trick shots, long drives. It's something that's memorable for the golfers and the guests. And I hear it all the time when I work with you guys is, oh my God, did you see what that guy did on the 15th hole? He was hitting drives so far, or he turned the club around and hit my club lefty, or whatever it is that he's doing. It's a full entertainment, but you're raising big money out there.
Absolutely, and that's, you touched on it. It's the uniqueness of our service. Not my words, but I've had many events say, you guys bring out the wow factor, and we've used other on-course entertainment and done kind of some other things, but you guys are the talk of what goes on during play, and the financial windfall that we see from your event is like nothing else that we do on course during play. And that's why a lot of events will book us 50 weeks in advance after they have their event, after they do their follow-up for the year.
Yeah, that's a great phrase is wow factor. And when I work with all these charities and even ones that we don't work with that, you talk with, they don't want their event to get stale. They want to keep it fresh. They want some exciting ideas, also ways to help them raise more money. But this concept, your business, definitely provides that wow factor and that excitement that creates this memorable moment year in, year out. It's just not that everyday concept, that everyday golf outing par 3 contest. This is typically done on a par 5 hole where the long drive player that's coming in, and by the way, Chris, they're always great guys, very charismatic, very likable guys that you staff at these events. And they're coming in on a par 5 hole, hitting long drives, giving the players a chance to hit the green in 2 on a par 5 hole. And there's a little bit more to that promotion. Isn't that right, Chris?
There is. And that's also one of the big perks of having us out for the day is depending on the size of the event, we're giving anything away from a $5,000 golf trip to a car if anybody holds out our pro's second shot. So it's not like we're giving away a set of clubs or a round of golf for 4. These are big time prizes and people get excited. People get excited about winning, and we've had many, many winners over the 9-10 years we've been doing this, and it's been rewarding. It's been great. And we continue to grow, and we see the charity golf tournament industry continue to thrive.
That's pretty awesome. And you're all over the country.
We are. We're actually in about I don't know, probably 48 of the 50 states. We've never done an event in Alaska, but we're doing more events in Hawaii, the Caribbean, Mexico. We do some really unique one-off events all over the country, and we've been lucky to do some of the biggest events around.
And, you could probably throw out some names here. I mean, there's some very, notable names that you have on your staff working these events. I mean, guys that maybe just came off the Remax tour, hitting these long drives. And I'm telling you, it's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, we work with several world champions, several guys that have won the world title. They'll bring that belt out to events, and they're only giving away one of those a year. So, that's you're the longest of the long in the world on any given year, and that's saying something, as everybody wants to hit it long with, Bryson DeChambeau kind of creating a buzz about that amongst the golf world. Everybody wants to know how they can squeeze another 5, 10, 15 yards out of, average golfer wants to know how.
Yeah, they do. Everybody wants to hit it long. They always say chicks dig the long ball, right?
Nobody cares about the 20-foot putt. Yeah,
no doubt. But I'm telling you, the golfers love it. And some of your guys, we talked about briefly about hitting the trick shots, but some of these guys bring props with them, and they're hitting it off a stand. Or I know one guy comes with a jock strap, with a tee attached to it. And I've seen clients laying down on the ground while he's driving it off of this tee wrapped around the guy's waist, hitting it, 350 plus yards.
Yeah, they do some crazy stuff. A lot of these guys are former athletes, a lot of ex-hockey players, minor league and actually professional. Some of the guys were like Bobby Bradley, were former baseball players. So they have that hand-eye coordination, which you just can't teach. And, they can have somebody toss a ball over their shoulder. They can bounce it off their knees and then hit it out of the air like 320 yards. I would be lucky just to hit it up anywhere on the club, and these guys are squaring it up and hitting it out there. So it's something to see. I've been doing this for 9-10 years, and when I go out to outings and see my guys do it, I see the excitement it creates and the buzz it creates. It still feels the same way 10 years later.
So, that's an interesting point, because that brings me back to my earlier question. Now, how did you really come up with this idea with Bobby Bradley and put this together, especially considering that you yourself are not a long drive champion?
Yeah, great question. So my prior business, I worked with professional tennis players on tour. We did marketing and merchandising for tennis players. We started doing their off-season, which in the tennis world is very compressed to about 60 days. We started doing their off-season charity events. I saw how much interest and how much revenue could be made in one night. And back in 2008, we sold that business to a group and got involved with charity golf tournaments. My first love is golf, and we started doing some different things in charity golf just in Dallas, Fort Worth area. Bobby was out at a couple events doing some long drive stuff, and He said, hey, I know you have relationships with Texas golf tournaments, and I know the guys that can do this. And we hired on a couple pros back in 2011. I think we did 40 events in 2011. We thought if we ever got to 100 events, that would be incredible. And we started going from Texas to Florida to hiring guys in, New York, LA, Chicago. And in 2019, we did over 2,200 golf tournaments. So it's something that has taken on a life of its own and gotten larger than I ever imagined, for sure.
That is pretty big, no doubt about it. And you guys are all over social media. We're just going to throw out some of these handles here. So Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter is at The Charity Golf. That's THE Charity Golf. And their website is CharityGolfIntl.com. Yeah, definitely big. But when we're talking about big, not only big hitters, big money you guys are raising. I mean, we're not talking about a little par 3 contest that might raise a charity, $500, $600, $700 or something like that. We're talking about thousands of dollars you're raising out there for the organization.
That's right. The normal event, Larry, an average event walks away with $2,500, $3,500 is an average event for us. Obviously, some events are significantly larger and some events are smaller, but on average across the 2,000 plus events we do, the average take for a charity is $2,500 to $3,500, which is huge for their bottom line at the end of the day.
And provides that wow factor, like you said earlier.
It does.
Yep. And on top of that, because I've been working with you guys, as I mentioned, for, quite a few years, almost I'd say 8 years now. You guys are always right on top of the spreadsheet format. You're sending it out basically either that evening or the next morning with the tally from the day, and then processing the checks and getting them out to the charity in a timely fashion.
Absolutely, yeah. It all starts from pre-event, making sure we have all the details correct. Our pros know exactly who they're out there raising funds for. They do their homework. They look at every event as a job interview. They want to make sure that they're on point and are pitching the charities correctly. And then, like you said, we pride ourselves on getting accounting and counting reports and checks to the charities, faster than anybody in the industry. And that's what we've continued to do. Cut checks to charities.
Yeah, and that's really what it's all about because, as you know, these things are all raising money for great causes, small and large, and they all need that event day fundraising component, and they're all doing raffles. They're all doing silent auction, maybe live auction, but this is something that can really turn up their on-course contests to a whole nother level.
Absolutely. I mean, there's thousands and thousands of great nonprofits out there. They're all doing fantastic work. And our goal is just to play our small part in helping make their events an entertaining and financial success year after year. And we enjoy playing that small part.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, I think the golfers really enjoy it too. I get tons of great feedback every year. We have you guys out at, I'd say, at least 5 to 10 golf outings every year in tournaments. And they love it. They really do. And now you're working on some new partnerships, getting ready for 2021, right?
We are. We're working on a couple different things. We got about 4 or 5 different things that we're working on. Our season winds up here in about 3 weeks, right before Thanksgiving, and then we can focus on 2021. Talking to golf event planning about contactless registration to your clients. New relationship with TrackMan here in the last 45 days. I don't know if everybody's familiar with TrackMan, but they measure ball and swing speed on a device. I've had a lot of interest from charity events having that out on a hole, not our hole, but a different hole where their guests potentially, like on a long drive hole, can measure their distance, their swing speed, and their ball speed. Like I said earlier, Bryson DeChambeau has been the talk of 2021, how players can squeeze out a few yards. We're also working with a company that does unique, one-of-a-kind, directly only through charity event golf packages. You can live auction off a round of 3 or 4 to one-of-a-kind venues like Cypress in California, Marion, and even a couple times a year they're able to get folks on Augusta National. So you can imagine what that goes for at an auction where there's a bunch of paddles going up for a big charity event.
Impressive resume right there. If you can get on Augusta or Cyprus. I mean, come on. Who wouldn't want to do that? You're talking about bucket list trips here. And that just leads into, your company, where it's that wow factor you were talking about that really just makes these events memorable. It's not only the fundraising, but it's also that event experience that I know we as a business always pride ourselves on. And I know that that's something that your company has always strived to achieve.
It is. We're a niche, and obviously we try to look at other different components that are unique and one of a kind. And it's kind of how we've built our business from the ground up, being a kind of a niche business, and that's what we look to do. And with some other business ventures here in 2021, we're as excited as we've ever been about a year about next year, especially with what's transpired this year.
Let's talk about our advertiser. I usually record and edit this podcast in my home office. And when I work, I need to get in the zone. For me, I feel more productive when I wear a collared shirt, but you're crazy if you think I'm going to put on a heavy cotton button-down shirt. I need to be comfortable if I'm working for a long period of time. Recently, through a friend of mine, I got connected to this new brand called Tillinger. They make my new favorite polo shirt. It's soft, breathable, and uses higher quality performance fabric, so I'm more comfortable. Work in it, golf in it, play in it, anything you want. No logo either, so you don't look like you just got off the golf course. Right now, they're donating 10% of every purchase to COVID-19 relief. I can't recommend them enough. Their website is shoptillinger.com. That's shop, TILLINGER.com. Check them out. Again, we're talking with Chris Carey from Charity Golf International. Their handles are on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, The Charity Golf. That's THE Charity Golf. And their website is charitygolfintl.com. Chris, how about some of these great charities that you work with, some of these great organizations? You're talking about all over the country. And even in Hawaii now, which is amazing. I'm guessing that, you have some local pros in that area. But, I mean, you're working with tons of great charities year in and year out.
We are. We do a lot of stuff throughout the country and on the islands with Make-A-Wish. American Cancer Society is many of their events around the country. You name it. But there's also many one-off charities that do a couple events, like the High Fives Foundation, and just a lot of events that you've never even heard of, and charities, nonprofits you've never even heard of, who are doing amazing work for unique, one-of-a-kind charities and foundations to raise money and fight illness and fight different disease and try to find a cure for different things.
Well, if you're running a charity golf outing out there and you want to raise more money, or you want to create that wow factor, or both, I highly suggest that you consider Charity Golf International for your next golf outing fundraiser, because it provides both that wow factor and that boost that you need to your revenue the day of the event. I mean, Chris, you and I have been working together now for 8 years, and your customer service is always great. Like I mentioned earlier about reconciling with the organizations, but you work with them too. Your pros really understand the organization and what they're doing when they get there, that they're part of the organization, really helping them raise money that day. It's a good feeling all the way around.
Yeah, and a lot of these charities can consider Charity Golf International and our pros family. They're ambassadors. Our pros are ambassadors for these organizations. I've had several different directors say, hey, your pro pitched our charity and our mission as well as anybody else I've ever heard on our staff. And that's just a tribute and a credit to your guys that are, doing their homework. They're not just out there aimlessly talking about raising money. They know where the funds are going for. They are well aware of the directive and the mission of each organization that they're involved with. And some of these guys do 3 or 4 different charity events a week. So it would get confusing to me, but these guys are sharp and on point when they need to be. They're doing their homework.
Yeah, and again, it doesn't cost the organization anything to have you guys out there that day, which is music to their ears. I mean, once you start raising money, there's money going right to the organization, and there's a percentage split, which is fine. I think that like you're mentioning big numbers here that they're raising, and they're not able to do that on their own. I mean, yeah, they might sell mulligans or they might do a land on the green type of contest, but it's really not exciting, and it's not going to get people talking about the event, but also it's not going to raise them a lot of money. I mean, your promotion here, and you throw in maybe it's the trip to Pebble Beach that you have where guys pony up a certain amount of money that they can be eligible for this trip if they hit that second shot in the hole on a par 5 hole. But that's really where the money is starting to elevate the revenue.
It is. And one thing I do want to add is a lot of events are like, how much can we raise? We've taken it one step further and simplified it. If you go to our website, on the front page, there is a tab called the donation calculator. And we've crunched the numbers at over 11,000 events. And if we know the number of players, the cost per player to play in the event, how much the event raised the year before, and how many holes are taking donations, if we have 5 different variables, we can tell that event within a couple $100 how much we're going to raise for the day, just based upon crunching the numbers at 11,000 events over the last 9 years. So that's free too. It doesn't cost you anything. It takes 2 minutes. You fill out about 10 to 15 questions and it emails you back a number that's a very, very true, almost down to the penny with what we're going to come out and raise for the day. And that gives folks a good idea of what they can expect up front.
I mean, Chris, does it get any easier?
We try to make it simple, Larry.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. Yeah. I mean, and that's what it's all about. I can't suggest these guys enough. I've said it before, and all our clients know. They're like, "Hey, Larry, can you get one of those long drive pros out there again?" It's like, you bet. I mean, I'll shoot Chris a text or send him an email, and right away you're able to get back to me and let me know the schedule. And you're doing multiple events all over the country, and you can let me know exactly what's going on, and if you have a pro in the area or one that's going to drive up and is going to work the event. And I mean, I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, we've worked. I mean, you and I have worked together on quite a few events over the years, and we've worked as far out as 6 months in advance and as tight a window as 2 or 3 days. So yeah, we're, for the most part, we try to be able to support any event that would like to use our service within reason. But yeah, we've enjoyed working with golf event planning and look forward to working with you and other organizations around the country. Yeah,
same here, Chris. We pride ourselves on great relationships like you do. And having Charity Golf International as one of our partnerships is it's a win-win for everybody. Again, we're talking with Chris Carey from Charity Golf International, raising big money for all these charities for the last 11 years. Their handle on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter is The Charity Golf. That's THE Charity Golf. And their website is charitygolfintl.com. Chris, in closing, I just have to say, and I think I know the answer to this because I know you as a person, but I get this too. It's got to be really rewarding. I mean, we both sort of sell fun. I mean, I'm on the event planning side, but a lot of what I do, it has to be fun and exciting for the golfers, just like what you're doing. But it's got to be so gratifying for you working with charities, knowing that you're raising them money every day. And this is a business for us, but we're helping contribute to great causes.
It is. And like you said, it is a business, but any career where you can give back and touch the lives and actually physically with your eyes see the good that you're doing, it's incredibly rewarding, Larry. And I know you do some amazing work up in the Northeast and all the events and lives you guys touch with your business. Yeah, it is. We're both very lucky to have chosen this profession. Yep.
Yeah. Well, like you said, it's the love of golf that really kind of brought us into this type of business. And, for me, it's one of the few things I know and that I'm passionate about. It's a pleasure working with people like you that embrace that same type of mentality, because at the end of the day, it's all about the relationships that we have and that we've built.
That's right. No 2 days are ever the same. And I wake up every day hungry and looking forward to changing lives. It does. It gives me the chills. It's a great livelihood that we've carved out for ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So again, if you want to have any one of Chris's pros out at your event, feel free to contact me. Again, their handles, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter is The Charity Golf. That's THE Charity Golf. and their website is charitygolfintl.com. Chris, again, thanks very much for spending a little time with us on Fairways and Fundraising and talking about how you raise money for organizations from the entertainment perspective with these long drive golf professionals that just hit the ball a country mile, man, and entertain the golfers.
Larry, I appreciate you having me on Fairways and Fundraising. It was fun. We look forward to working with golf event planning in 2021 and beyond.
Same here. Happy holidays to you. And, we'll be in touch soon for 2021. Ciao, ciao for now.